decades of history to honor and millions of dedicated fans to please, superhero casting directors have a lot on their shoulders. Here are 10 times that they got it right. Starting off so strong with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Mission Impossible 2 is the reason that Hugh Jackman was cast as Wolverine. Who would have thought, but it is true. Originally, Doug Ray Scott was going to play Wolverine, but MI2, where Scott played the villain, ran over and he was forced to give up that role. The actor recommended his friend, Hugh Jackman, and truly, the rest is history. I think Jackman has played Wolverine in like 10 movies now, and there's rumors that he's even been spotted on the Avengers Doomsday set. Despite initial doubts from fans and challenges from almost getting arrested at the border before filming, we'll explain that in a second, fans said he was too tall and too handsome compared to the short king comic book Wolverine. But Jackman's charisma, dedication, and physical transformation quickly won over the filmmakers and fans alike. And we did get to see height-accurate Hugh Jackman Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, so it all worked out in the end. Jackman embodied the character's rage, humor, and humanity, making Wolverine his own and silencing critics who questioned his fit. Jackman's portrayal has become iconic over more than 2 decades, defining Wolverine for a generation. And as for the arrest, Jackman was cast very late into the process, so production wasn't able to get a visa for him in time. They told him to just lie at the airport and say that he was just coming for an audition and not working for months. Jackman ended up getting detained. The good news is the officers were really big comic book fans, and once they found out who Jackman was playing, he was on his way. They let him off in exchange for an autograph. Number 9. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds might not be loved by the public right now, but then again, Deadpool usually isn't either. At least not by the people of the Marvel Universe. Ryan Reynolds was the perfect casting for Deadpool because of a unique combination of personal connection, comedic talent, and long-standing dedication to the character. His association with Deadpool dates back to the early 2000s when a studio executive noticed his resemblance to the character and recommended him for the role, even before Reynolds himself knew who Deadpool was. After reading the comics, Reynolds immediately fell in love with the character, feeling it was destiny, as the comic even humorously described Deadpool as looking like a cross between Ryan Reynolds and a Shar-Pei. This deeply personal affinity drove Reynolds to champion the project for over a decade, enduring 47 rejection letters and pushing tirelessly to get this film made. His natural charm, improvisational comedy skills, and the ability to channel Deadpool's irreverent fourth wall breaking humor made him uniquely suited to bring the anti-hero to life authentically. Reynolds' passion project not only redeemed the character after a poorly received earlier portrayal in Wolverine Origins, but also turned Deadpool into a billion-dollar franchise and a cultural icon. I know that Ryan is not popular right now, but there is no other man on earth that could have eaten this role up quite like Reynolds. Number 8, getting controversial here, Robert Pattinson was the perfect choice for Batman. I know that his most iconic role is Edward from Twilight, but this man has shown time and time again that he has the range. Director Matt Reeves recognized his exceptional acting range and ability to convey complex emotions, especially through his eyes, which is crucial for a character that often hides behind a mask. Pattinson's transformation from his earlier roles to critically acclaimed performances demonstrated his versatility and depth, making him well-suited to portray the darker, more conflicted version of Batman who is still discovering his identity and limits. Additionally, Pattinson's genuine passion for the Batman character and his ability to embody both Bruce Wayne and Batman as intertwined masks for a single person aligned perfectly with Reeves' vision of a gritty, noir-inspired Batman who is not yet the hero that Gotham City deserves, but is one who instills fear in its criminals. This nuanced portrayal promised a fresh and compelling take on the iconic superhero, setting Pattinson apart as the ideal choice for the role. But my favorite Pattinson story though, he was asked why he was so adamant about playing Batman. The actor said that he was locked into that audition process to the point where his agents said, "Interesting, I thought you only wanted to play total freaks." And Pattinson responded with, "He is a freak." And that is how you know that he got it. Love Batman, but Batman is kind of a freak, but you have to be a little bit of a freak when you deal with other freaks like the Joker, the Penguin, the Riddler, and only operate in the shadows. Number 7, Maguire's Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire embodied the essence of Peter Parker in a way that felt authentic and relatable. Unlike a typical superhero, Peter Parker is socially awkward, he's a nerdy teenager who doesn't look like a conventional hero, and Maguire's natural demeanor and appearance captured this perfectly, making him believable as someone who could realistically be picked on in school and underestimated. His portrayal had depth and personality, balancing vulnerability with heroism, which resonated deeply with audiences and made him the Spider-Man that many fans grew up with. Despite initial skepticism about his casting, Maguire's performance ultimately defined the role and set a standard for future portrayals of Spider-Man. I watched these movies when I was too young to actually remember them, but recently rewatched them and literally the first thing I thought was, they really did get it right the first time. I do adore Andrew and Tom's portrayals. I grew up with Andrew's Spider-Man and cheered in theaters for Tom's. I know know that the Spider-Man casting is a touchy subject, so let me know your favorite Spider-Man actor in the comment section down below. Number 6, Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller is such a good casting, and it is surviving the DC reboot. She embodies the complex contradictions of the character, a powerful, uncompromising, and intimidating leader who commands respect and fear. Davis's status as an EGOT winner brings grandeur and depth to Waller, a character known for her ruthless pragmatism and willingness to make hard decisions, including using lethal force without hesitation. Her portrayal captures Waller's psychological complexity and moral ambiguity, making her a formidable presence akin to Marvel's Nick Fury, which is also an incredible casting. Additionally, Davis's ability to convey strength and vulnerability simultaneously makes her ideal for a role that requires both commanding authority and nuanced emotional layers. Number 5, Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac's portrayal of Moon Knight is a masterclass in acting. His exceptional ability to portray complex, multifaceted characters, which was essential for the role of Mark Spector / Stephen Grant / Jake Lockley / Moon Knight, a character with dissociative identity disorder. Isaac embraced the challenge of embodying multiple personas, including the mild-mannered Stephen and the darker vigilante Mark, delivering a nuanced performance that balances the superhero genre with a deep psychological character study. Additionally, Isaac was drawn to Moon Knight's relative obscurity and the opportunity to create a unique Marvel character kind of from the ground up, allowing him to explore themes of trauma and survival in a way that felt both personal and groundbreaking within the MCU. This role represented a handmade character study that contrasted with his previous blockbuster experiences, enabling him to take creative risks and deliver a performance that was both intense and innovative, making him uniquely suited to bring Moon Knight to life. And now his best friend Pedro Pascal is joining the MCU, and I haven't seen that movie yet, but I am optimistic about Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, especially after seeing how that man memorizes lines. He uses the first letter method. It looks crazy, but it does work. You write out just the first letter of every word. It helps the brain memorize, but it does look like you just dumped alphabet soup on a piece of paper. Acting tips aside, Pedro is just also very talented, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in action. Number 4, Henry Cavill as Superman. Henry Cavill's Superman will go down in history as one of the most perfect castings for the hero that was completely wasted. It sounds harsh, I know, but please don't shoot the messenger. Henry Cavill did embody both the physical presence and the deeper qualities that define Superman. He had the classic Superman features and imposing physique. He looked like he stepped right out of the comic books, but it was his dedication, his charm, and genuine affection for the source material that set him apart. Cavill is a self-professed nerd and worked to bring authenticity and heart to both Clark Kent and Superman. His audition, famously conducted in the classic Christopher Reeves costume, convinced director Zack Snyder and studio executives that he could truly capture the Man of Steel. However, despite his strong debut and immense potential, Cavill's Superman was only given one solo film, and the character's trajectory was derailed by inconsistent creative decisions and franchise rebooting, preventing Cavill from fully realizing his vision of a comic-accurate Superman. Celebrities, or just even fans, they will recount stories about meeting Henry Cavill in public, and the comments section will just be filled with remarks about how Cavill is more like Superman in real life than he ever was in any of the movies. Number 3, Heath Ledger's Joker. This casting is so good, I don't care that he's a villain, he is making this list. Heath Ledger was the perfect casting for the Joker because he goes all in for his roles. I mean, remember when he almost broke Jake Gyllenhaal's nose in Brokeback Mountain? He took a fearless approach to the Joker, and his dedication to creating a fresh, unpredictable, and deeply unsettling interpretation of the character paid off. Despite initial skepticism due to his previous roles as romantic lead, Ledger immersed himself in the Joker's psyche by isolating himself for weeks. He kept a disturbing diary and developed the character's voice, laugh, and mannerisms to embody the sociopathic clown without empathy or remorse. Director Christopher Nolan valued Ledger's unique vision and collaboration, which allowed the actor to bring a terrifying and innovative portrayal that redefined the character forever. Ledger's Joker was so impactful that it overshadowed much of the film despite his limited screen time, earning him a posthumous Academy Award and cementing his performance as iconic and unmatched. Number 2, Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman was so perfect for Black Panther, he didn't even have to audition. The actor shared in an interview once that the audition process was closer to just like a conversation about the direction of the film and what they all wanted to do. Boseman embodied both the regal dignity and cultural significance the role demanded, so it's not hard to see why he was cast after barely a month of discussion. Boseman brought a deep personal connection to the role, having long envisioned a Black Panther film and would authentically represent Black culture and history, which he actively incorporated into his portrayal. His performance was not just an act of craft, but a historic moment as he led a predominantly Black cast in a major blockbuster that became a cultural milestone. Boseman Boseman's integrity, commitment, and the way that he elevated Black representation on screen made him a symbol of Black excellence and cinematic heroism, making his portrayal of T'Challa resonate powerfully with audiences worldwide. And finally, RDJ as Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr.'s casting as Iron Man was so good that it kicked off an entire multi-billion-dollar franchise. RDJ brought an unparalleled charisma and authenticity to the role that resonated deeply with audiences and impressed even his strongest critics. Director Jon Favreau saw in Downey not just an actor, but a showman who could own the character of Tony Stark, a complex billionaire with flaws and charm. Downey's own life experiences, including struggles with substances and personal challenges, paralleled Stark's character arc, allowing him to infuse the role with genuine depth and vulnerability. His portrayal added arrogance and passion, making Stark far more well-rounded and appealing than the comic book version. Trust me, I'm deeply familiar with both. Despite initial risks due to Downey's troubled past, his dedication and energy elevated the film, kickstarting the MCU and transforming Iron Man into an iconic cultural figure. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Favreau have both called Downey's casting one of the greatest decisions in Hollywood history, crediting him with the film's and franchise's massive success. But what do you think? There's hundreds of good castings out there, so let us know your favorite in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, nerds!